Bodie is back at 10. That seems to be the biggest news from this game, with the Chiefs coming up to Auckland to play the Blues this Sunday. Still a chance for the Chiefs to pick up a win. You got to think before the competition is over, the Chiefs are going to get a win somewhere. Eden Park has not exactly been a tough place for them in recent years. So maybe they'll back themselves, but remember the Blues won this Rugby Aotearoa fixture down in Hamilton earlier this year, so, well, like a month ago. So yeah, the recent blood goes to the Blues, and the Blues have been a team seemingly on the rise. However, recent losses to the Hurricanes and to the Crusaders may have taken a bit of the wind out of their sails, although it's still better than 5 losses on the trot. The Chiefs just don't seem to be quite clicking, but you got to think when it clicks, they're going to finally get it right. They got enough talent in the team to, to really cause some havoc, but too much drop ball and whatnot. So, plus injuries, I will give them credit in that department that they've probably got the longest injury list. The Crusaders one's getting lengthy as well, but anyway. Speaking of players and injuries, there's still no Hoskins Sotutu for this week. Dan Carter's still got that calf strain, so he's not selected. James Parsons is still not ready, but I thought Kurt Eklund was pretty good last week, so Eklund still starts alongside Hodgman and Tuungafasi. Tupolotu and Kali Tuioti are the second row. Gibson Papali'i and Akira Ioane are the back row. And Akira, you'd have to say, despite all his critics, and maybe this season being in the shadow of Hoskins Sotutu, I think he's been pretty good, man. His work rate seems to be up there, and let's just kind of keep seeing more of the same from him. Finlay Christie and Bowden Barrett are the 19 combo, so Bodie's been playing exclusively at 15 thus far. Maybe some of the games he's kind of dropped in to 10 during the later periods of the game, but for the most part, well, absolutely, he's been starting with 15 on his back. Caleb Clark is back, which is good news, alongside Mark Talea. Those two are some of the better wingers from Super Rugby Aotearoa thus far. Duffy is at fullback. We'll see how that goes. Bodie, despite maybe not getting the plaudits from everybody, I know there's got a few people who aren't quite his fans, his tactical kicking at the back has been a very useful tool. And if I was going to back a kicking game between Duffy and Damien McKenzie, who's playing fullback for the Chiefs, my money would be on old D-Mac. So it will be interesting to see if you see Bodie kind of dropping back to take kicks, or if Duffy will be doing the kicking, because between Clark, Duffy and Talea, I don't really see a great kind of set of boots there, but happy to be proven wrong. I guess Blues fans will be pretty happy that Farnett is back in the number 12 jersey. His defence is probably much needed in that 12 channel, and Rico, whose defence has been improving as he's been playing more centre, is also he's starting at 13. For Plum, I should say, is on the bench. Otete Black's penciled in on the bench, but he might not be available because remember he was injured last week. Oh, and also Sam Knock is back, out from the cold seemingly, so there's no space for Ruru. For the Chiefs, like I mentioned, D-Mac is there at fullback. Wainui is there on one wing, and Alamalo is on the other one, so there's still no room for Sean Stevenson. I haven't read that he's injured, so not sure what he's done wrong, but he is out in the cold. ALB and Nankiville is the midfield. Trask is still favoured at 10, so Cruden is on the bench. And Brad Weber, who had a bit of a battle with old Aaron Smith last week, didn't end up coming out on top. He is there at number 9. Soakula is there at 8, and his battle against Akira Ioane will be fascinating because both of these guys are big, hard, ball-carrying number 8s who both kind of get a bit criticised for their work rate at times. Defensively, getting back off the ground to do the defensive plays, not just the big ball carries. So I'm gonna, depending on the position, it'll be nice to see who's kind of had the better tackle rate between the guys. I'm always fascinated by that kind of thing. Sam Cane's at number 7. He will have a lot of pressure on him for this game. Number 1, his team is 5 losses on the trot. And number 2, he got a yellow card foolishly kind of last week, and his performances haven't been like earth-shattering. You feel like if you're going to be All Black captain, you need to be putting in All Black captain level performances. Whereas one of his back row partners, Lachlan Boshier, he has been phenomenal. Key turnovers, big tackles, tries, you know what I mean. So, Yeah. Mitch Brown and Tupava'ai are the second rowers. Laulala, Slater, and O'Neill are the front rowers this week. So O'Neill starts after coming off the bench last week. So, yeah, like I said, you got to think that the Blues and the Chiefs is always going to be a big game because it's neighbours, essentially. And they're going to bring their cowbell up to Auckland for the visiting fans, that's for sure. They're going to have to get a win, the Chiefs. They did it pre-lockdown against the Blues, but the Blues managed to get their own back on the Chiefs in Super Rugby Aotearoa down in Hamilton. So there's plenty of reason for the Chiefs to want to get up for this one. They are not the favourites, the Chiefs. It is the Blues. The bookies, they've got the Blues by 7. And Rugby Forecast algorithm has got the Blues by 6. So relatively close between both sides. But I think if the Blues lost this one, I mean, the Crusaders are going to have to drop games no matter what. But if the Blues lost this one, I think you could pretty much count them out. Maybe even from second place. I don't know. The Hurricanes, if they lose and the Blues lose, then maybe it's the Highlanders game to try and get that second spot. If the Crusaders keep on winning, nobody's going to catch them. But anyway, the Blues need to at least this one to try and make it look like on the table at least somebody's keeping up. But anyway, should be a good game. Let's not worry about the Crusaders. It is the Blues and the Chiefs. Two teams that like battling it out in their own right. Bird and Barrett's at 10. What's not to like? DMAC at 15. Should be a really fascinating one. You guys let me know your thoughts on this one. How do you think it's going to go? Do you see the Blues doing a double over the Chiefs? Or do you think the Chiefs are finally going to break their duck? You guys let me know your thoughts. And I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.